guys, what's going on? Dave from Dave Doc DIY here. We're doing a little 3-rail fence here, and for anyone who's looking for inspiration, if you're thinking about doing a simple 3-rail fence, we're doing 4-foot welded wire, and we're doing 5/4 boards, 5/4 by 10 by 6 boards. I'm just going to give you guys a simple layout as to the process of me setting these posts. Going to keep the video simple. I'm just posting this out there if you're looking for inspiration. There's simple steps to setting a fence. You're going to set your posts in the ground. You're going to concrete them in. You're going to make sure they're nice and level. You're going to run your wire. You're going to screw your boards to it, and you have a fence. I'm going to show you some of the different strategies I used on this to make it easier on myself. Thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Let's go. Now, as you can see here, I have 4x4 by 8 posts set in the ground. Now, I'm only doing a 4-foot fence, but I wanted to just cut them high so then as you run your rails down, you can run with the ground because I'm working with a pretty decent slope here. Now, these are areas where I had a ton of roots, and what I did was I used the 30-inch 4x4 post stakes, which these are really solid. And for the fact that I'm gonna have 4x4 by 8s on the outsides and these set into the ground here, I mean, these things are solid. Obviously, I can get a little wiggle in it, but you can tell that they are not going anywhere. Now, this fence is going all the way into these vines over here, which luckily I still used those 30-inch 4x4 posts in there. And then this is where we're gonna finish up, where there's already an existing fence in the yard. When I was setting these posts, all I did was run a string line right down here and just make sure that my 4x4s were facing square towards the string line, and that's how we got our line for everything. I went and marked everything with spray paint every 10 feet because I'm using 10-footers. Now, this section right here was a lot more out of level than my usual ones, and as you can see, I trimmed down the wire to work with that angle that we were going to be having. And then we have everything stapled up in the back here, and then I cut my 4x4 posts even at the top. And that's what I would say, if you're working with an angle your wire to it and follow that wire with the wood. It'll come out looking good in the end. I'm about to roll out this wire right here. We're going to set it to our posts, and I'll give you an update once we're done that. I've also been sick while doing this project, so it hasn't been the most fun. I like getting outside. It's fall. It's nice weather right now. It's like 60 degrees. It's perfect. You can't beat the weather right now. But yeah, it hasn't been the best. Go birds. Now, all I'm doing is stretching this out, and I use a clamp as I go pole by pole. And then I picked up this cheap Ryobi stapler because I really have need for an electric stapler, but this was only 80 bucks. I'm just going around as I'm keeping this tension here before I set my boards on the outside. This just helps me keep a nice straight line so everything will look nice and tight once we start throwing our boards on. Now, as you can see behind me here, the fence is done. And the footage you saw earlier was actually from 1 year ago. I never finished filming that video to show the process of doing this fence. So let me show you how everything turned out and how it's held up over here. Now, as you can see here, this is our posts that I was talking about that are almost that 30-inch mailbox style post. You can get them at Home Depot. They're super affordable. They've been holding up well. There's areas on the fence that I need to get to staple here. I've just dropped the ball on that because the fence has been working great, but I just need to straighten some of these out. Now, I was stretching these out between the 4x4s and they seemed really tight. Over time, they did loosen up. So I just got to go back around with my staple gun here and staple some of these out. But the way I finished in the back here, actually, since I have a chain link there, is I actually got a 5/4 by 6-inch board, and I think that's the size, yeah, 5/4 by 6. Put it on the other side of the fence, screwed it directly to my post to finish it off right there. Let me go show you the front. These are also some custom gates that I made for it. I'll show you the one on the front as well. Now, here is what I did on the front because I wanted to maximize my space in the yard here. So I did a driveway gate up here, as you can see, and it's actually been functioning great. Everything's held up here well. I got enough staples on my wire on the front here, so all of that's been holding up fine. Here's my gate setup, which again, This was custom. I knew how I wanted it to look and just kind of threw it together here. You have two pieces on the outside here, and then I clamped everything down, and it's been holding up great. The screws I used on this are the Rugged Construction screws by GRK. These things are great, and they're totally worth the money. Now, as you can see, I went with some upgraded sizes for my larger fence here, which I just wound up, which, yeah, we have some scratches in the driveway from these posts here, but that's how that functions. It just slides up and shuts there. Now, I've had a little bit of saggage going on here between these posts, which I'm going to fix that. And here's your view from the street side. Everything's been holding up really well over the last year, and I gotta say, I'm happy with the results. Here's a little shot of our driveway gate that we threw together there. Here's a little teaser for you. Outdoor TV box. And I'm in humid weather, and this thing's been working great. I'm gonna be having a video coming up soon on how I did that setup. So the reason I'm making this is I just want to show you, if you want to build your own fence, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. I just wanted to give you guys the blueprint of the design. When it comes to a 3-rail fence, it's pretty simple. Just get some posts in the ground, get some wire, get some fencing materials. Now, overall material cost, I don't have the exact number on this, but it was very affordable. So if you're looking for an option, the 3-rail, it's a good way to go. My dog's been so happy that he has a yard again. It's been good for over a year. If you're looking for homeowner and DIY tips, especially when it comes to plumbing tips, I've got plenty of content on the page, Dave Doc DIY. See you next time.